Hi guys, this is going to be a preview on how best to manage Game Week 6. This obviously comes in light of the news that Patrick Bamford is going to be missing Leeds' match with West Ham on Saturday. We got that from the Leeds press conference earlier today, if you didn't know. But I assume, if you've been all around Twitter, you'll have seen that there's been a lot of panic and people suggesting what to do with Bamford in their teams and who they're going to replace him with. I will also just note that Rafinha and Ayling are also doubtful for this weekend. So I don't know, we'll have to sort of keep an ear to the ground on early team news or who travels to the game on the team bus and stuff. But hopefully we'll get a bit more confirmation on preferably or importantly Rafinha, because quite a lot of people have him. So that will be something to look out for around the deadline. But back onto Bamford, obviously a lot of managers transferred in Bamford either 2 weeks ago or last week. This was because either DCL, the DCL injury, or Antonio's suspension, or just because Leeds had a really good fixture run. So in this video, I'll try to help you guys make a decision on what best to do with Bamford, whether you're looking for a replacement, whether you're looking to just roll a transfer and just keep him on the bench for 1 week, or just seeing, if you're going to have to wildcard if you've got so many players out. So I'll show you guys how my Game Week 5 team went in this video also, and how I'm planning to set up in Game Week 6. So firstly, here's my Game Week 5 team. As you can see, it wasn't the best week, but I only lost 1k in rank. So I was pretty pleased with it, given the circumstances of having Antonio miss out and Trent miss out, of course. So Eric Dyer and Brownhill both had to come off the bench. I mean, they both did very poorly, only 3 points combined. But it was quite a low-scoring game week, at least compared to the others that we've had so far this season. I got my captaincy pick right with Mo Salah, and the decision to keep Benrahma was definitely a fruitful one. So all in all, not a terrible week, and obviously with Trent and Antonio to both hopefully come back in this week, the average scores are hopefully going to go up. Moving on to who's confirmed to be out and who's still doubtful to play. We've got Bamford with the red flag. He has been confirmed out. Obviously, as I was saying in that Leeds press conference, we've got serious doubts in Rafinha and Ayling, whether they're going to play. Brownhill has been declared that he's now running and he's back in the training. So if he's some of your guys' bench options, he's actually mine at the moment. So not that we're expecting many points from, I think it's Leicester away, but any points could be decent if you've got no one else to come off the bench. We haven't heard any concrete news on Trent yet since the Carabao Cup. So hopefully when we hear Klopp tomorrow, we'll hear that Trent has completely recovered from his illness and he'll be fine to face Brentford away. And the same with Digne. Digne got, I think it was an ankle knock yesterday in the Carabao Cup, and he's flagged at the moment. But hopefully, again, if you guys have got Digne, hopefully he'll be able to play this weekend, Norwich at home. So moving on to the Bamford replacements. If you guys took out Antonio for Bamford last weekend, then it seems an obvious choice to go back to Antonio this weekend. He's not suspended, obviously, anymore. It was only a 1-match suspension for 2 yellow cards. He played in the Europa League midweek, but he actually was rested this week in the Carabao Cup game versus Man U. So hopefully, with 9 days rest, Antonio versus Leeds away should be a fantastic game, and probably, at least for the price, I'd say potentially knocking on the door of a must-own player for 7.9 million. That's if you have to buy him right now. Obviously, if you bought him before, he's probably only worth 7.7 or 7.8 in your team. But to have him right now for 7.9, you can see his stats on the screen. He's got 39 points, which is a joint second highest out of all positions and all prices. Him and Benrahma are second, equal, with Mo Salah currently on 50 points, so leading the way. But if you just look at this as an outright fixture, Leeds away with their missing players and all around the pitch, really. They're missing 3 centre-backs. So Cooper's the only natural senior centre-back. Obviously, Ayling can play there, but if he's a doubt as well, then I'm not sure. Maybe they would have to play Calvin Phillips at the back. And then potentially Dallas at right back and Firpo at left back. So it's not an ideal defence, and especially if they didn't have Bamford, Rafinha, and potentially even Harrison. I've seen that there's a chance that he might not play because he's lacking a bit of match fitness, recovering from COVID, obviously. That's a seriously weakened Leeds team, and West Ham could definitely get at them. On top of that, they've got Brentford at home next week and Everton, Tottenham and Aston Villa in their next 3 after that. They're not awful fixtures. I don't think many of those, apart from Brentford, the other 3 defences coming up after Leeds, they're not performing as well as they did in previous seasons. And they could definitely leak a few goals to Antonio and Benrahma, because West Ham have had a pretty good attack so far this season. I think maybe the 4th best attack in the league. A fully fit Antonio is definitely a good Bamford replacement. Moving on, we've got the Watford double up. Obviously on the left we've got Dennis, and on the right we've got King. There's not much between their price. They both played, I think Dennis played on the left, King played in the middle, and Sarr played on the right against Norwich. I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen going forward, but it worked obviously very well against Norwich, coming away with a 3-1 win and probably like a good relegation 6-pointer. So I see no reason that they would change that going forward with Newcastle at home and Leeds away. 2 very good fixtures again. Whether you'd like to go with Dennis just to save the 0.3 million would allow you to spend the rest of the Bamford money elsewhere. So potentially on upgrading your defence, as I see a lot of people are especially trying to get on the Chelsea bandwagon next weekend. Potentially not this weekend, obviously, because they have Manchester City. But coming from next weekend, they have a really good set of long-term fixtures. Obviously, decent stats for both of them. Dennis has played a bit more this season, so he's obviously got more points. But Josh King had the better game week 5. Moving on, we've got Newcastle's main man at the moment, as Callum Wilson is out. Saint-Maximin looked really threatening against Leeds, and as well as being a good FPL asset with 27 points from 5 games, he's also really exciting to watch. So new owners will definitely find that. A good upcoming fixture run for the next 4 games, I'd say. Watford away, Wolves away, Spurs at home and Palace away are definitely has chances for getting points in them. Obviously, he's got more assist potential than he had goals potential over the first 5 game weeks. But with no Callum Wilson, you'd imagine that his goal threat will go up and his assist potential will go down. And also just a really good option for 6.7 million. Again, to spend the rest of the Bamford money elsewhere would be pretty good. Moving on to a slightly more expensive option, if you've got a bit more money, let's say you're doing a double transfer and you're taking out maybe a Jota or a Mason Greenwood or something, with the sort of eye on the long-term fixtures, or perhaps being less nailed if Roberto Firmino comes back maybe off the bench this week and maybe properly to start against Man City next week, then you might have some spare money going around. And Vardy's been a really consistent FPL asset over the last 3-4 seasons. 29 points after 5 games, so that's just under 6 points per match. He's got pretty good upcoming fixtures. He is obviously Leicester's main talisman. If there's a goal for Leicester, he's more than not involved, and obviously a lot more goal threat than assist potential. So that's exactly what you want from your starting striker. And then, really good fixtures coming up. Burnley at home, Palace away. Man U's defence hasn't been completely watertight this season, and then Brentford and Arsenal. So we could definitely see Vardy getting a few returns. Also, with an eye on the future, if you've already got Ronaldo and you go to Vardy this week, then you could potentially go to Lukaku in the coming weeks if Vardy isn't what you expected, meaning that you could have obviously the Ronaldo and the Lukaku double up, which a lot of people are liking at the moment, obviously with Salah as well. Moving on to captaincy for this week, because that will obviously decide how people are going to replace Bamford. 20% of people on Twitter, on a Twitter poll, were saying that they were looking, or their first choice captain at the time was Michail Antonio. So if you don't have Antonio, it's now very risky going without him if 20% of people are thinking of captaining him. Just look at the stats. You can see that Antonio has, these are all per 90 stats, so he has over one attacking return per game. If you also look, West Ham 9.14 xG over the course of the season, so that's just under 2 goals a game. The same with Manchester United. But the key thing on this one is if you look at opponents' xG conceded, 10.79 from Leeds, and that is a Leeds who had defenders over the course of the first 5 game weeks. Now they're seriously on the bare bones of their squad. Antonio could be a fantastic differential captaincy option. On the other hand, Ronaldo over 50%, so he's going to be seriously high ownership, probably well over 100% effective ownership if you look on live FPL. Again, if you look at his stats, it's fantastic. It's exactly what you want from a striker. Very, very good goal threat and not a lot of assist threat. Very selfish. That's exactly what you want in FPL terms, because the best returns come from goals, obviously, not assists. They are third, Manchester United, on expected goals, I think. So a very good attack all round. And then they're playing against a team in Aston Villa that have an average, let's say, in terms of a Premier League defence, an average defence. And then obviously there's Mo Salah, who's playing in this really attacking Liverpool team who've created the most chances so far this season. They're the team with the highest expected goals, but they're also playing Brentford. I know Brentford haven't really been tested as much as some people would like. Like their defence is becoming it's become better in the first 5 game weeks, but of course now they're going into quite a tricky run of fixtures. So now this will be the serious test for their defence, playing against the team with the most expected goals in the league. But Brentford are currently second on expected goals conceded. So it'll be a really interesting one to see how Brentford at home try to shut out that Liverpool attack. So again, Salah with 25%. 25% captaincy ownership on this Twitter poll. So probably, again, we'll have just over 100% EO, I'd imagine, similar to what Ronaldo was last week. So you'll lose a tiny bit of rank if you don't captain Salah. But obviously, if you've captained Ronaldo and he outscores Salah, then you'll gain rank massively. So moving ahead to my Game Week 6 team, I will hopefully be rolling the transfer. I do not think that I need to make the transfer this week, even though I have Bamford, and it is obviously frustrating that he's missing a fixture like West Ham at home, because West Ham haven't had the best defence either. But if we get any sort of news that Rafinha is missing out, or Trent, or maybe even that Roberto Firmino starts, then I probably will be forced into making a transfer this weekend, which isn't ideal because I did want to have the 2 free transfers for Game Week 7 to double up on Chelsea players. and I don't want to go to Chelsea players in this game week because they're playing Manchester City, of course. So currently, I just have Bamford on first bench, and I've brought Eric Dyer into the starting team. Spurs started the season pretty well in terms of clean sheets, obviously 3 on the bounce. But the last 2 weeks, their defence has been a bit exposed. Now, hopefully, with all of their players back from either training in Croatia or Japhet Tanganga was suspended, hopefully they'll be a bit more tight at the back. It's a huge game for them, obviously, the North London derby. So if Eric Dyer could, get a jammy clean sheet or even just like 2 appearance points, I'd probably take that, providing that Bamford is back next weekend to play Watford at home, because I see that as a really good fixture. You'll see currently that I have the captaincy on Ronaldo. Multitude of reasons, really, as we spoke about. He's got the best expected goals per 90 out of all of the options. He's playing in a moderately attacking side against a team with a moderately poor defensive record. Also, just the fact that I have triple West Ham versus Leeds and triple Liverpool versus Brentford. Already, it's a lot of pressure on those 2 fixtures, and I wouldn't want to put the captain's armband on Antonio or Salah just to add more pressure to that fixture when my rank will inevitably rise if they perform anyway across the whole fixture with 3 players in each. So, yeah, perhaps I've gone with the safe option in Ronaldo, considering that he's going to have the highest ownership this week. But I feel that at my rank, just keeping it simple for the moment until either people wildcard or until Chelsea's fixture swing comes along, I think I'm just going to play it simple this week and roll a transfer. Let me know what you guys are doing. I hope that we get some more info before the deadline just to confirm exactly what we're doing with our squads. And apart from that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and have a good day.